Greetings, denizens of the internet. This is Rainbows with an exciting StarCraft game on Kulis Ravine, a PvT between nemac Blue Protoss at the 1.5 o'clock position and samcobra Red Terran at the 5-ish o'clock position. Kulis Ravine is a very special map for players with access to ranged ground units like Protoss and Terran, both Colossi and Siege tanks, as well as Thors, Marines, Marauders, Stalkers, and all sorts of other fun units can take advantage of these little high ground areas. Right up here, and up in here, and up in here, and over up in here, and pretty much just all over the map. Stalkers and Colossi are especially good at taking advantage of those, just because Stalkers have blink and Colossi can move up and down ledges. Reapers also can jump up and down ledges and do a whole bunch of fun things with those. So enough about the map. We have nemac right here sending out a scouting probe in the wrong direction. Looks like his opponent's actual position is going to be the last place where the scout checks. In the meantime, samcobra is getting up a supply depot, and he's got his worker rally point set also in the wrong direction, so both players are going to miss scout, and their scouting dudes are going to cross each other. Looks like nemac's actually going for a second pylon before first gateway. This is really interesting. Not sure what this means. I guess it means he's going for something that's going to need a lot of food or a lot of buildings to be placed down. Very soon we're going to see that coming right up. In the meantime, samcobra is getting a gas right on schedule. He does not need to build a second supply depot very early, because you can wall on this map with just one supply depot and one barracks, and he doesn't have to worry about baneling busting, as his opponent is not Zerg. So he's got plenty of economy to play with early game because of that extra 100 that he does not have to spend. Looks like the scouting dudes are going to cross each other right here at this 7 o'clock base. samcobra coming up to check the wrong base again. And nemac's going to check the right one this time, as this is going to be the 4th and final place his probe looks. Looks like nemac's actually getting 2 gas right now, and he's adding on his first gateway. Not really sure what's the deal with that extra pylon, but it's not going to hurt him too badly, as neither player has successfully scouted the other person. samcobra is going straight for a tech lab. He's not going to bother getting a first Marine out, even though he does not know if there's any Zealot pressure coming in. We might be seeing an early Reaper, just to see if his opponent has gotten out that first Stalker, and see if he can put any pressure on his opponent, and just to ward off any sort of fast expands. The orbital command is up. Mule is going to be coming down shortly, and samcobra is going to reap the benefits of Terran macro mechanics momentarily. He's also eventually going to get another guy in that gas right there, hopefully, just so that he doesn't build 2 things for nothing. And it does look like nemac is coming in with another pylon. He's not going to get a core very early, but that's okay, as his opponent is going for a Marauder first. It's a little bit curious. This is not the most recent patch, so all of the funky infestor changes aren't in yet, and the immortal balance isn't in yet, but Marauders do have concussive shells as an upgrade. We are seeing Marine Marauder Ghost play out of samcobra. We're probably going to see some Ghosts shortly, just because he's facing a Protoss, and because EMP is so strong. nemac is just going to pump Zealots out of this factory for a little bit. His core is coming up now as we speak, so he is going to be able to get a Stalker out in a minute. samcobra knows exactly what's going on. He's getting very, very good use out of this SCV, and his opponent can't scout just because of that wall, and his opponent was driven off. And a Reaper is going to come up for samcobra, but it's not going to be able to get up in time. samcobra is going for a bunker rush, actually. He's getting a bunker up in his opponent's natural in this little area, which is a little bit curious, just because his opponent is probably going to opt to expand up here, just so that the Terran player cannot harass quite as much with tank drops, or Marauder drops, or Reaper stuff up in here. So I'm a little curious about this bunker. I don't think it was necessarily necessary, but bunkers are free as long as they don't get killed. You do get the minerals back later, which is not literally free, of course. You do have to put a little bit of investment. 3 Reapers being queued up for samcobra, not exactly the best move. He's got a little bit over queued, and he could be spending those resources on something else, but that's okay right now, because he's, I guess, not going to opt going for anything else. I'd really love to see a factory out of him in a starport, just so that he can really whore out that high ground, but it does not look like he's going to do that. Ground armor coming up for nemac. Ground armor and shields are a really interesting dynamic too, more so than in 1, just because even though most Protoss units have more armor, have more health than they do shields, with the exception of like Archons, and that's pretty much it. the shields regenerate very, very quickly out of combat, even without a shield battery. And we do have 2 Reapers coming down, and there are no Stalkers coming up for nemac. He does have a single sentry coming up. These Reapers are going to get a bunch of kills. 1 kill on that Reaper, and I can't check the other one, and they're going to be able to evade these Zealots really easily and come back in and put on a little bit more hurt. 1 kill on that Reaper as well. I'm actually going to go over to the units lost tab. 3 probe kills so far. You can tell that because there are no resources lost. You only see resources lost when combat units are killed, and these Reapers are going to be microed around the Zealots. Not quite perfectly. 1 Zealot does go down, but a Reaper does go down, which is really a completely unfair exchange because those Reapers could have ideally just skidded around back behind that mineral line, completely outran the Zealots, and picked off probes in the meantime. 3 Reapers will one-shot a probe, but a sentry is up now for nemac, and he will have a much easier time holding this. He's continuing to pump Zealots despite the fact that he's got plenty of gas. I'm a little curious about this, especially now that he knows that opponents do have Reapers, and it does look like samcobra is just going to go and knock out this pylon really quickly. Reapers do ridiculous damage to buildings as well as ridiculous damage to units, and this force field is not going to do that much as 2 out of 4 Reapers get out. 1 and another do go down. He had 4 Reapers coming into that engagement. So I guess it was kind of effective in blocking, but that sentry probably just would have picked off 1 on its own. nemac is food limited. He is supply blocked. He is in the red because of that pylon loss. Some more Reapers coming up for samcobra. Looks like samcobra is adding on a factory and another command center, and based on the placement of that command center, it looks like he's actually just going to go ahead and take his natural and not take the safer base. Let's hope he doesn't do that, and let's hope that I'm just reading that wrong, because it is so much safer to take the safer base. That's why I call it the safer base. Another Reaper coming down for samcobra, going to do a little bit more harass. nemac is still massing these Zealots, and that doesn't really seem to be that safe of a move. He's got a whole bunch of pylons up in a part of his base that is more defended. It looks like a little bit of mismicro by samcobra here, as 2 Reapers do go down without putting up much of a fight or doing all that much damage. nemac's forge is a little bit in the blue. It's a little bit out of shields, but those shields are going to pick back up momentarily, and we can see that they are regenerating quite fast. These Reapers are on high ground, though, and they're going to be able to take on another pylon for nemac. nemac does not have any units up there, and he is not Noni, so he is not going to do the awesome blink trick, so he's actually able to freely pick off these units and these pylons, as long as he's very careful that his Reapers do not go over the edge, and these Reapers are actually going to go over now, and they're going to get taken out by Sentry and Stalker Fire almost immediately, especially with Zealot support. So again, a little bit of mismicro by samcobra with those Reapers. But you can't expect everybody to be perfect. I'm just being completely unreasonable. We're going to see where this command center goes momentarily. It does look like samcobra is continuing just to macro up, getting a big Marine Marauder blob up, and he is reinforcing in this bunker. His opponent, though, has already expressed an interest in taking down those destructible rocks. Looks like nemac is actually overreacting to these Reapers a whole bunch and getting up a bunch of photon cannons in his base. Not really the best response. He's got plenty of Stalkers up to deal with that, and he does have Blink, so these Stalkers are going to be incredibly mobile, just as mobile as the Reapers. So he doesn't really need any additional defenses. He's actually floating a whole bunch of minerals. I really do not like the position that he's in, and it does look like he's actually going to try to take his natural instead of taking down those rocks. Horrible move, especially with that bunker there, and this probe is going to die very quickly. 2 Marauders. Coastal Shells has been upgraded. Has not been upgraded. Wow. I thought I saw a little bit of slow on that probe, but I guess I was wrong. And some Marines and Marauders are going to take out these destructible rocks above samcobra's base, so it does look like he is fetching 2. Excuse me. It does look like he is getting ready to lift off his command center and take that more protected natural or third or what have you. And as this goes on, it looks like this bunker is being assaulted by nemac. nemac is going to be able to take that down no problem. He's got plenty of forces, plenty of Zealots, plenty of Stalkers, plenty of sentries. Only 1 sentry. There's nowhere near enough sentries. You need more sentries for force field. So he's going to be able to take that base quite safely. He's floating quite a lot of resources. I would love to see him double expand right now. There's only 1 Reaper up at this semi-protected base. And once those destructible rocks go down, it's going to be very safe for him to take that. samcobra does have the Xel'Naga Watchtower with a single SCV, so he does know that his opponent is moving out, and he's going to have plenty of time to move into position. He does have a siege tank up, which is going to be massively beneficial. As soon as he gets siege research, and that's nearly done, he's got a starport up as well for those medivacs, so that he can actually build Marines, Marauders, and medivacs instead of just some of them. And a single Stalker is going to come in, take a single pot shot at the supply depot before blinking out some interesting micro by nemac. I'm not really sure how necessary that blink was. I would have liked to have seen him put a little bit of hurt on samcobra's getting up a bunker inside of his base, which they're free, but inside of that wall, I don't really see why that's necessary. I'm being really critical right now.